Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is Susan T. Ouellette. I am the host here at the Susanity Life show, where we get together and have conversations about life, right? About the journey of life. And I'm the owner of Susanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, where I have a Susanity technique where I implement massage, Reiki, polarity, intuitive coaching, cards, things like that. So today, I thought it's the first of the month. So the first of the month, we always read cards. So if you're being drawn to this channel for whatever reason, if you're driving in the car or you're watching on Facebook and you're being drawn, there's a possibility maybe that you might want to have a reading. And most people, we charge, of course, when you come to the clinic or online for readings, but today they are free. Free. So if you're being drawn to this station for whatever reason and you want a reading about career or relationships, or you've lost someone recently that you want to see if you can connect with, or there's something going else on in your life that you're trying to tap into, definitely reach out to us. We would love for you to call us at 508-304-1152. Again, that number is 508-304-1152. And let's get started. So for those of you that don't know me, again, my name is Susan T. Ouellette. And one of the things I always do is I read out of Jesus Calling. And the reason I read out of Jesus Calling is because if I didn't have Jesus Calling, I don't know where I would be today. My mother gave me this book a long time ago. This is a different one. It's pink, but she gave me the other one. And I never really read it until after my motorcycle accident. And then when I started reading it and embracing the words, I was, just taken in. So today it says, bring me your weakness and receive my peace. Accept yourself and your circumstances just as they are, remembering that I am sovereign over everything. Do not wear yourself out with analyzing and planning. Instead, let thankfulness and trust be your guides through this day. They will keep you close to me as you live in the radiance of my presence. My peace shines upon you. You will cease to notice how weak or strong you feel because you will be focusing on me. The best way to get through this day is step by step with me. Continue this intimate journey, trusting that the path you are following is headed to heaven. Now, heaven. When we think about heaven, right? We think about when we pass away and we go to a place called heaven, right? But what if heaven is already a part of you? That's deep, isn't it? But what if heaven is your head, right? So if you think about your head and all the central nervous system that you have in your head and all the connections that you have in the head that's connected to your entire body, right? Then you can see that there's a reason why it's called heaven, head, heaven. And then your feet would be what? Hell. And the reason why I'm saying this is because think about this for a minute. When you put on your shoes, right, you're blocking out your energy to nature. That sounds crazy, but it's so true. And that's why they created a sole for the bottom of your foot, right? So soul in general is S-O-U-L. That's your soul. That's your heart. That's everything, right? But soul on your foot is S-O-L-E. So you're blocking out your connection to nature right away with your shoes. Now, can you not wear shoes? Of course not. You can't not wear shoes. That's crazy. But at some point when you can, try to reconnect that part of the bottom of your feet to nature, whether it's taking a bath or putting your feet in some water and have some foot soak, or, God, I walked in the snow in my bare feet to reconnect myself to nature. Bare feet in the snow. I see people all the time taking their clothes off, running in the snow. That's not me, but I did take my shoes off and walk bare feet in the snow to reconnect myself, right? Because grass is obviously not available. I also touch some trees and do stuff like that. But our connection to ourselves is the way that we can live our life here without worry, without pain, without anguish, without sadness. That's it. Your feet are connected to all the organs in your body. That's why reflexology and polarity and all that stuff, crystal work on your feet, that all works. Your chakras, which I'm going to do cards on, those are all connected to your body too. So you got your crown chakra here, then you got your third eye here, then you got your throat chakra here, then you got your heart chakra here, then you got your solar plexus, which is your third chakra, your sacral, which is your second chakra, and then your root chakra, which is your base. Your root chakra is really important. All of them are important, but your root chakra is really important because your root chakra is your chakra that's connected to your inner child. I wrote my books, Messages from Your Inner Child, to help you connect to that part of yourself, to give you insight into things that maybe I went through, to get you through it so that you can let go of it. Is it easy? Not at all. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, but is it worth it? Absolutely. So, sitting in the dark, have you ever wondered how life happens? What you're here for? When the lessons stop? Are there days when you think, when can I get off this Ferris wheel of reality? If this is you and you're thinking this way right now, welcome to my world. People often ask me and tell me very often at the clinic, when did you know that you were different? And how do I know? Or why am I different, actually? Not how do I know? And the truth is, I never, ever know how to answer that. As there wasn't just one moment like, aha, here I am. This is me. I think we all have those moments of wonder where curiosity takes over. But if I had to pick the when, it would be after I learned about direct sales, which is what you call it, network marketing. Well, people call the pyramid scheme, which is not true, by the way. And I read the book, The Secret. Do you have a moment? Was there a day or time when you realized that everything you believed to be true may not have actually been true? Right now, all over TikTok, all over Facebook, all over all the other channels, there's files coming out with things that are catastrophically so horrific, we don't know what to believe, right? Here's the thing. 6 years ago, a lot of us saw those things already. 6 years ago, when we were learning about spirituality and the connection of spirituality, we saw those videos. We saw a lot of videos. The names I won't say on here, but they were definitely things that if you watched them, you wouldn't sleep for days. Days. And right now it's being shown to us. Why? Because the truth needs to be shown sometimes. Is it true? Maybe. Maybe not. Right? We don't know, but it's being thrown at us. And when we're thrown things like that, fear is what kicks in. Anger is what kicks in. People start getting angry. Everyone's catastrophically crazy. It's like this nutcase thing going on, and we're diversified. And if you think back to divine, if you think back to angels, if you think back to those things that we believe sometimes we don't, you have to know and believe that there's also evil and that's also good and bad. And right now, this has nothing to do with anything that we think it has to do with. It has to do with good versus evil. That's what it has to do with, right? So that's kind of where my journey has been. And a lot of people that I know, that's where theirs has too. So figuring out the ins and outs of this journey for me, and I think for a lot of you, has definitely been interesting. LOL. That's the word I use when people ask me questions that to me still don't have an answer. Like right now, I don't have an answer. Do you have an answer? Maybe you do have an answer. I don't really know. Like, how was your meeting with that new class you thought about taking? My answer, interesting. How do you feel about the book you're reading? Did it give you any insight? It was interesting. It was interesting has become my go-to word. For me, it's easier than trying to explain the why, which, to be honest, has no explanation in and of itself. Maybe you have a word. If not, it might be a good idea to have a word that's all yours. It says it might not be a bad idea. So it might be a good idea for you to have a word that's all yours. You get to choose it. Don't tell anyone. And each time you have a moment that makes zero sense, catastrophically, have no idea what's going on, or when you're feeling a bit lost, you repeat that word and poof, all the worries disappear. Or not. I have a few words, however. The why I have words is because of one word that I lived in almost my whole life. And that was adrenaline. I craved adrenaline. I craved that thing that I knew deep down I didn't need, but I still thought I did need it because of the way I was brought up and the things that I was taught in school and the things that I was taught everywhere, right? So if I found a way to create adrenaline, it gave me a reason to run, and I felt safe there. Safety. What an interesting word that is. Safety. Do you feel safe? Do you feel free? Like, how do you feel right now at this moment, listening to me on the radio or watching me on Facebook Live? We're going to be going on a break real soon, but I want you to take a minute to sit down with yourself and think of a word that will resonate with you so that no matter what somebody says, no matter how they treat you, no matter what career you've chosen and what work disaster you're in or whatever, or if you're in a relationship or a relationship just ended, a word that when you think about this word, it can fill your soul back up to the way that it was supposed to always be filled. It can be anything, right? But it has to be your word. It could be something silly. Grasshopper, cricket, pickle, penguin, anything. Chocolate. You can tell where my mind is right now. It can be, I don't know, it can be a musical word or a just any word. Just think of a word, right? So we're going to be going on a break for the next couple minutes, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to read some cards. If you're drawn to this and you're listening to the radio in the car, driving down the street, and you can call in at 508-304-1152. Look me up on Facebook Live. Look us up on Unity Radio 97.9 on Facebook Live or on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel too that you can look us up. WUTY 97.9 YouTube. That's our YouTube channel. So guys, my name is Susanity Life. I'm the host here of the Susanity Life show on Unity Radio 97.9 FM with Community Connection, and we will be right back.
Hello, my name is Alvin Familia, president of the Manny 267 Foundation, and you are listening to Unity Radio 97.9 FM Worcester Community Connection.
Hey, what's up, Worcester? This is Jacqueline Carr, and I'm inviting you to be inspired with me every Sunday starting at 6 a.m. with the Jacqueline Carr Show on Unity Radio. I'll get you going with a motivating word, special guest, the absolute best music, and a few other surprises. But you gotta tune in on Sundays at Unity Radio to find out. It's Jacqueline Carr, and the Jacqueline Carr Show is happening Sundays from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. right here on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection, and also streaming on WUTY.org.
Hi, I'm Ernie Floyd, host of the Unity in the Community Show on Unity Radio 97.9. Join me and my guest as we discuss topics on embracing our diverse cultural communities, the music, the arts, and healthy lifestyles. I'm Ernie Floyd, host of the Unity in the Community Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hello, I'm Pastor Sharon Henderson of Covenant St. Andrew's United Methodist Church, 24 Hamilton Street, Worcester, Mass. We welcome you to worship with us every Sunday at 10 a.m. Let's worship together and love one another. I'm Sharon Henderson, pastor of Covenant St. Andrew's United Methodist Church, 24 Hamilton Street. We welcome you to worship with us at 10 a.m. every Sunday. Let's do it together and let's make peace.
Life is like a roller coaster. It has its high and low moments, zooming through our lives. Sometimes we feel excited and full of joy, and other times we feel numb to the world around us. Low moments are a part of life. They help us cherish the good times. That's why it's important to reach out when life's lows stop us in our tracks. Connect with someone now. Call 211 or text 988.
What's up, Worcester? It's your boy AG, better known as Angelo Gray. And you're listening to Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
Welcome back, guys, to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. Again, my name is Susanity Life. I am the host here at Unity Radio 97.9 and the owner of Susanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, where wellness meets peace of mind. I do massage, Reiki, polarity. I read cards. I do intuitive coaching. I am your go-to person so you can be healed, right? And aren't we all looking for that right now? Some healing. I don't know about you, but I definitely am. So the deck that I'm using is Archangel Metatron. And the reason I chose it was because he drew me to it. For those of you guys that don't know me, I am an angel reader. The cards I read through angels mostly. I also read intuitively. I'm a psychic medium, yes, but in a different light. I don't dab into the darkness. I don't like it. So if I see anything in the cards that I don't really understand, I'm not going to say it, or I'm going to kind of go around it because sometimes people aren't ready to hear the message, and that's okay too. Not a big deal. I do have a YouTube channel, Susanity Ouellette. I haven't been posting on there, but I will be. I do have a TikTok channel too. It's Susanity Ouellette. And my Facebook is Susanity Ouellette, and my page on Facebook is Susanity Life. And my website is susanitylife.com. So if you're drawn to this reading or you're drawn to the radio station today, there 100% is a reason. Don't deny it, because when you get that nudge and you don't pay attention to it, the nudge gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what happened to me when I got in my motorcycle accident. I kept getting these nudges about waking up, and I didn't want to wake up. I don't know why, but I didn't. And finally, I had no choice. I ended up in a wheelchair 4 months and couldn't walk, talk, taste. And that's how I got woken up. That was not fun. Have I struggled? Of course I have. I had a really bad brain injury. I struggle with that every single day. I'm not afraid to tell people that now. Before I was afraid. I was afraid to tell people anything about my life, right? Because sometimes we don't want to. Sometimes we want to run and hide behind the shadow. No thanks. No thank you with the shadows. All right, let's see what he has to say. It's interesting how when you read cards, everything that you say is 100% brought out to you. So the first card is healing, and he's telling you, Archangel Metatron, to pause and receive. And these cards are so nice. Look at these cards. I'm showing you guys these cards on Facebook Live. They're so pretty. The next card is evolution, birthing the new, which makes 100% sense, because didn't I just talk about the root chakra and connecting to your inner child? And then the last card is review and reflection, time out needed. And this card is somebody that's standing in front of the moon. And didn't we just have a beautiful full moon? Did you take a reflection during the moon? Did you see it? When I was driving here today, the sun is changing. The sun was so bright and beautiful and yellow, but not it. I could stare right at it. I mean, I can stare right at it anyways, but sometimes I have to clip it. But now I was staring right at it. It was shining down on me. It was so amazing. And you get your vitamin D that way, right? And then the bottom of the deck is, interesting. Was I just talking about heaven? Okay. And the card, as above, so below. Heaven and earth. So, heaven, head, earth, heaven. Do you understand a little bit more? So for those of you that are paying attention and listening to the radio, there's a reason that you're listening. And Archangel Metatron, and Michael, obviously, because he just paused too. He wants you to see the truth about what's going on right now with your life. That you need to pause and receive whatever it is that's supposed to be given to you. That you're in the process right now of rising above yourself. You're in an evolution. So you're birthing a new path for you. Your review and reflection is that you need to take more time out for yourself. You need to understand that what is going to be provided for you can't be provided for you if you're all over the place. And if you don't ask for it. I tell that to all of my clients. Ask and you shall receive. If you don't ask, then you can't receive. It's the same thing with the past, right? Think about the past for a minute. We live in the past sometimes, but the past means, in definition, that it already happened, right? Let's laugh about that. It already happened. You can't change the past, right? So laugh about it and be like, all right, I'm done with this. I don't need it anymore. Push it on your left shoulder. That's your ego anyways. And just let it go. Bye-bye. See you later, because you can't change it. Something that already happened. If it already happened, if you already have a flat tire and you're driving down the road, you can't change the fact that you had a flat tire. If you already bought food at a restaurant, well, that's a lie because you could send it back. If you have food in a restaurant and you didn't like it, right? You have to eat it. You don't. You can send it back. But most people don't actually. They will eat it anyways, even though they don't like it. If you're one of them, then you're listening to the channel that you should be listening to. Anything that is already happened, you cannot change it. I'll give you a perfect example. Last week, right, we had that major snowstorm. My pipe froze underneath my crawl space where my washing machine was. Froze. So I'm doing laundry. All of a sudden, the water comes flying up out of the pipe. I've got water all over the back of my entire laundry room. It's coming out onto the hardwood floors. There's a major snowstorm out. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I've got soaking wet clothes in the washing machine. And I'm thinking, you have got to be kidding me. Normally, I would freak out. I freaked out a little bit. You can ask John, my boyfriend. He would tell you that I freaked out a little bit, but not much. Not like I would have. I thought to myself, you know what? Can I change what's happening? No. Did I try? Yeah. I put rock salt down there. I got my shop vac and started putting my shop vac in there, trying to suck up the water. It was frozen. That was not going to happen. I boiled hot water and poured that down the pipe. That didn't work. And then John said to me yesterday, did you try to start your washer again? I was like, no, I'm afraid, because I didn't want to get water all over the place again. So I did it today and it I was so excited. The water went down. I was able to do no laundry or anything. I just put like a cleaning tablet in there because, of course, the water was sitting in there forever and a day. I had to drain it. But I felt so good. And normally my adrenaline would have caused me to be like, what the, like when you're in the car and you're driving and somebody cuts you off, right? Instead of thinking about that, why don't you think about the fact that that person might have someplace to go? Their child might be sick. They might have to go to work. They might be running late. They might have to come to the radio station. They might be running late. They might be going to an event. They might have to do something that really they need to get to. And instead of getting upset about them because they cut you off, just hold it in your heart space and be like, okay, because you can't change it. Can you change it? No. Now, what you can do when somebody is on the side of the road and they're waiting to turn, instead of going speeding by them, let them out. Be courteous. You never know what somebody else is going through. Like what I went through with my washing machine. You just don't know, right? So that's what these cards are about. Appreciation and healing. Your ancestors right now, which is the card that's on the bottom deck, your ancestors right now are telling me to tell you to wake up and smell the coffee. Because seriously, the more that you hold on to those things from your past, the more you're going to be in your past. And I'm not sure how much longer I have to. We have to go on break, but I'm going to tell you something else. Forgiveness is hard. To forgive, I learned this at church because I'm going to church on Fridays. I'm doing, oh my God, I can't even think of the name of it right now. I'll think of it in a minute. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, I'm doing this class and we're watching a video about the truth about Jesus. And I have my own ideas about Jesus. I feel different ways about different people. I mean, I'm definitely a Christian in certain ways, but I'm not a Christian in certain, whatever. It doesn't really matter. That's neither here nor there. So I'm doing this group and I love it. And one of the things that we talked about was forgiveness, right? And how you forgive. And it's not easy to forgive. But here's the reality about forgiveness. Do you know if you don't forgive, that you are in essence giving that person that you can't forgive your energy? Think about that for a minute. If you don't forgive, you don't have to forget. If you don't forgive and let it go the best way that you can, whether you write on a piece of paper and you put it away, or you write on a piece of paper and you burn it, or you write on a piece of paper and you take it outside and you jump all over it. It doesn't really matter. But you holding on to all that stuff inside of your inner child, inside of your wholeness, is giving power to that person that harmed you. And honestly, do you want to give that to them? Think about that for a minute. If that's what's happening because you can't forgive someone for something that happened, do you want to give them your power? Do you? That's the question I'm asking you. Ask yourself that question, because if you do, go have at it. Don't forgive. But if you don't, find a way to forgive so that you can let it go and live the life that you're supposed to live here. Right? That's what these cards are about. Taking time out for yourself. As above, so below. This card's beautiful. It's heaven and earth. It's the same thing. Heaven and earth, right? You are human beings on this planet, but you're in essence spiritual beings living a human existence. So you're in human form, yes, 100% you are, but your spiritual side is dying to come out. So if you're listening to this station today, 97.9 FM, Unity Radio, and the universe is talking to you right now, then call in to the radio show at 508-304-1152. My name is Susanity Ouellette. We don't have to say your name or anything, so don't be afraid of that. I own Susanity in Sturbridge. If you don't want to do this, you can always come and have a reading at the clinic. I'm right in Sturbridge, SusanityLife.com. My number's there too. But we're going to go through these cards a little bit more, and I'm going to pull. I didn't buy all new decks. I did buy all new decks, but I have all new decks to try something different. So if you're being drawn to this station, please pay attention. And if you're not, send it to someone, because maybe they need to be read. Maybe they need some clarification, some hope, some joy, some peace, some love. And we'll be right back.
listening to Unity Radio on 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hi, I'm Storm, and I'm a part of the Bruce Wells Scholars Upward Bound program. The Upward Bound program is a program that helps many promising low-income, first-generation, college-bound Worcester High School students. After joining this program, I've learned many different and important life skills while making new connections and getting real-world experiences through internships and classes. If you're interested in any of these opportunities, you can find more information at www.sevenhills.org or 617-866-1293. That's www.sevenhills.org or 617-866-1293. A brighter future begins with you.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Q, host of the Woo 508, and I'm here with
your girl Liza, Miss Consistency.
And it's your girl Chantel in the building.
Yes, y'all. Go ahead and follow us everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, the Woo 508. That's THEWOO 508. Woo!
Tell me again, roll me a bone, step into the groove, now you're in the zone.
Kingdom Voice and Music and Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester, present a Black History Month celebration, Courage to Remember. Join us as we share powerful stories of African royalty, generational heritage, and our living legends through music, theater, and dance. Our Black History Month celebration, Courage to Remember, also highlights Alzheimer's and dementia in the African American community, providing resources, awareness, and hope, alongside cultural food and local vendors showcasing their work. Don't miss our Black History Month celebration, Courage to Remember, February 28th at the Pryor Performing Arts Center in Worcester. For more information, visit kirosha.com/Black History, KIROSHA.com/Black History. Black History Month celebration, Courage to Remember. Celebrate with us.
You're listening to Unity 97.9 FM, WUTY, Worcester.
Hey guys, welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. Hopefully you're watching on Facebook Live because I'm having a little bit of a technical difficulty. And I wanted to pull these cards because these are the new deck. It's called Mindscapes Tarot by John A. Rice. And they were beautiful, these cards. I mean, they have this beautiful landscape on them. I'm showing you guys on Facebook Live. They're really, really nice cards. But I was trying to find out what sign that I was being drawn to, and I had a feeling, but I wasn't sure. So if you're an air sign, a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, this is definitely for you. So what came up was spires, and spires are swords. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 swords and 1 branch. And branches, wands, and those are fire. So if you're Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries, this could be for you too, right? So what I'm gonna pull another deck now because I want to get a clarification on two of swords, a page of swords, yeah. See what comes up. And then we got 3 of branches, which is wands, which is fire. So if you're a Libra, a Gemini, an Aquarius, or a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, this might be for you. Again, I got new decks, so we'll just see what happens. So we're going to clarify the two of spires, which is the Two of Swords. And see what is coming up here. And this is for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Okay. Huh. That makes sense. Okay. So, Two of Swords. You're having a really hard time right now believing in the fact that you deserve. Okay. That it's kind of like when you go somewhere and you win something, you always say, "Oh, I never win anything," right? That's kind of where you are. So if you're a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, this is for you. The next card is standing your ground, right? And that's Page of Swords. And so even though you feel this, there's still a part of you that is drawn to the fact that you do want to be rewarded. You do want recognition. You do want to have the chance to stand up and be proud of yourself, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But then we've got, the numbers are 3, 7, 18, and 2. So if any of those resonate with you, 3, 7, 18, or 2, then there's a reason for that too, right? So you're in your shadow self right now. That's what the 18 comes from, right? And so if you're a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, you need to wake up. You're kind of awake. A lot of us are. I'm a Libra. I've been a Libra since I was born, right? So, and I know quite a few Geminis and quite a few Aquariuses too. And we're all in the same trajectory right now. And then the last card for that is, the shadow card was 3 of Swords. And then we've got Knight of Swords. And underneath the Knight of Swords, it's actually really cool because what he has in the picture is an airplane and going up the mountains. So it's like this airplane is kind of going up the mountains. And then the card that was connected to it is, someone needs to meditate on their throat chakra too, is movement, choices, and decision. And there's a bunch of and the card is all different colored lights. There's yellow, pink, green, and blue. There's a sky, a wedding rings, money. So there's money, wedding rings, travel, and nature. That's what this card's about. And this person is holding this coin of something and deciding on what they want to do. So if somebody is considering getting married, this might be for you. You're or asking someone to marry them or something, or get into a relationship. You're in the process of a movement, a choice, and a decision. And if somebody is considering the possibility of getting out of a relationship, this might be for you too, because I feel like I'm being drawn to the shadow card from this card, which means that there's something not quite right with the relationship. Now, going back there, it doesn't mean that it's not a good relationship. It just means that something's off. It doesn't mean that you can't fix it, because you can if you want to, but you both have to be willing to fix it. And the truth is that if you're in the process in a relationship with someone that you're trying to fix, you can't fix someone that doesn't want to be fixed. And if they don't ask you to be fixed, then believe it when I tell you that they do not want to be fixed. That goes back to people that are narcissistic, right? Because a narcissist knows exactly how to tap into that part of your soul, to believe that they're something that they're not. How many people have gone through a relationship and for the first 3 months, 6 months, year, maybe even longer, you thought you were with this amazing person that showed you who they were, only to realize that they were not at all who they said they were. And it's not because they may not want to be that person. It's because they haven't done the work to go through the struggles, to awaken to the purpose that they're here. And instead of finding that, they're finding that in you. That's hard to hear, isn't it? Believe me, it was hard for me to hear. And I didn't see it. Years and years go by, I still didn't see it. I got my accident, I still didn't see it until I finally decided to see it. So if you're a Leo, however, and you're listening to this, you got 3 of Wands, which is fire, which is Leo, and Sagittarius and Aries. So if you resonate and you're any of those signs, there's a reason why you're listening to or watching. And the card that popped up underneath the card, which is 3 of branches, which is like a bunch of trees kind of around the card, is love begins. So either you met a Leo or a Sagittarius or an Aries, or you are a Leo or a Sagittarius or an Aries, or maybe you connected with a Gemini, a Libra, and an Aquarius, and I'm supposed to tell you to be a little bit careful with them because if they're not awake to the truth, then you're going to be pulled into their stuff, and that's the last thing that you want to do. But I'm going to grab a deck of cards. Hang on one second. I'm going to turn my microphone, because I'm going to pull a card from this deck now too and see like what comes up under relationships. So if you are a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, please remember that you need to understand that you should be recognized and you should receive awards for what you do. That you need to stand your ground if you're not. Be careful of the shadows that are around you. And if there's a choice that you need to make sure that you make a choice after you consult yourself, your intuition, before you make that choice. So the first card that popped up was Divine Feminine, which makes 100% sense. It's the frequency of the Divine Feminine supports our soft, receptive, and nurturing side, facilitating our intuition and intrinsic understanding of our connection of the cosmos. So that's pretty cool. So this is definitely, and the card that just fell out, which is crazy how this happened, is change. And wasn't I just talking about change? And it says, the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and birth the new. See how the universe talks? It's absolutely crazy. And Divine Feminine popped up again, fell out of the deck. Fertility popped up. And coherence popped up. So we'll talk about those when we come back. But I find it really interesting that when I'm saying things, if the universe is hearing, if Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael, my angels, my guides, my trusted advisors are listening, if God himself or Jesus is listening, how they always put me in the right direction, right? So if you're being drawn to this, again, my name is Susanity Life. I'm the owner of Susanity, where I have a Susanity technique that will blow your mind. It's really good. I'm in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, SusanityLife.com. This is Unity Radio, 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection, and we are grateful to have you here. So thank you for being here, and we'll be right back.
Unity Radio. Worcester, we got you.
Are you ready?
Hi, I'm Gary. And I'm Steve. And we're the hosts of Cannabis 101 on Unity Radio 97.9 FM.
Join us and our guests on Thursdays at 3 p.m. as we discuss the cannabis industry in Central Mass with energy, excitement, and passion.
We both take pride in providing you important information about the rapid growing cannabis industry. Support for Cannabis 101 is provided by Cannabis of Worcester on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Recreation Worcester is a free year-round program for youth run by the City of Worcester. The program enriches this city's youth in athletics, arts, academics, and social-emotional learning activities. Food is provided for free of charge for all youth participating in the program. Learn more at the Worcester Recreation website, www.worcesterma.gov/recreation-worcester. That's www.worcesterma.gov/recreation-worcester.
Tune into the Susanity Life with Susanity Life. And together, we will find our way to a healthier, healing lifestyle by listening to empowering stories of overcoming our struggles. Join me, Susanity Ouellette, on the Susanity Life every Wednesday from 5 to 6 on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. See you soon.
Activa la radio y Unity Radio 97.9 FM te invitan a escuchar el bloque latino todos los sábados de 7 de la mañana hasta la 1 de la tarde por los 97.9 FM en la ciudad de Worcester.
You're listening to Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hey guys, welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? You need to call in 508-304-1152. I know you're listening. I can see how many people are listening. I can see the frequency. I can see the numbers. But for some reason, none of you want to call in. Nobody knows who's calling. Unless they know your voice, they'll have no idea that it's you. And if you're being drawn to call in and it's a free reading, why not call in? Have some confidence that whatever you hear is going to be positive, because I don't really give out negative vibes. You can ask Oscar. He'll tell you my vibes are pretty positive. You can ask anyone that's come to my clinic too. My vibes are pretty positive. And I'm not afraid to laugh at myself. So if I do something wrong, I'll admit to it. I don't really care. So if you want a reading, we have another 12 minutes that we're going to be doing the cards. And if not, and you resonate with any of these cards, then thank you for listening. We really appreciate you. If you want to have a reading, you can always call me. You can always reach out to susanitylife.com. My phone number, I shouldn't give out my phone number probably on here, but if you want to reach me, you can reach me at susanitylife.com. You can find me on Facebook. All kinds of stuff, right? So this is my new deck. It's by John Holland. It's the Psychic Tarot, but it includes the chakras, which I love. And I teach at Spa Tech, and I get to teach that this week. I'm so excited. Oh, the Love Begins card came out again. Oh, I'm not sure who this is for, but the number 4, the number 6, the number 9, and the number 1 just popped out. We got a heart chakra here. So someone is heartbroken. But they're moving on. And sadly, they've been suffering in silence. But they're gaining their spiritual strength because this happened. So even though it's a little bit sad, in the end, it's positive. Right? Because somebody sacrificed a lot to be with this person. You shouldn't have to sacrifice any part of anything that you are or anything that you do to make somebody else important. Because you know why? You're the one that's important. You're important. So we got heart chakra, moving on, suffering in silence, love begins, spiritual strength, obstacles and challenges. So somebody is definitely dealing with their emotions. Someone's definitely dealing with spiritual something right now. And mental. Heart chakra, crown chakra, third eye wide open. Sacrifice. So I'm going to tell you, when it comes to relationships, sometimes it's difficult to understand the truth as to why it had to end. But if you think back to your relationship and you think back to the things that were causing you to scratch your head and have aha moments, the chances are that you already knew, but because you were set in the relationship, you couldn't see the truth, right? So you need to meditate on your heart chakra. Just go onto YouTube and find meditation for heart chakra, or Spotify and meditation for heart chakra. You're moving on and you're okay, but you are suffering in silence. So try to find something that you can do to heal yourself, like Epsom salt bath, like I said earlier, or meditation. Things like drinking or doing any type of substance is not going to cause you to feel better. It's actually going to cause you to feel worse. So don't do that if you can. Find a movie or a show on Netflix that you'd like to watch. I'm watching something new called Doc. It was really, really good. I just ended that one. And then there was a couple other ones that I watched that were really good. I watched them to the end. Oh, Found was a really good one too. Because once you get out of that silence, then you're going to have love again. But in order for you to be able to do that, you have to overcome the obstacles and the challenges that you might be facing. And you do that by dabbing into your spiritual strength and no longer sacrificing who you are to give somebody else something that they're not giving back to you. That's hard to hear, huh? Oh, it was hard for me to hear too. And even though I heard it, I still found it over and over and over again. That's why I like the movie Found. I kept finding the same thing. And people would ask me when they come to the clinic, how come I keep finding the same type of person? I said, well, because you haven't healed from the first one. So you're still searching. And it's not just relationships with people. It's also parents. Like if you haven't overcome the adversities that you went through in your childhood or with your parents, then that's not going to help either, because you never know, they could very well have been narcissists too. And you might not have known that. And keep this in mind. If that's true, then there's a good chance that some of these people that have said or done something that harmed you in any way, shape, or form is because they were broken. When you are able to embrace your brokenness and be like, oh, well, and just know that it had nothing to do with you. And then we go back to forgiveness. Forgive that person that harmed you or said something that harmed you. They no longer have power over you. And you definitely should laugh about that. It's like a cheese doodle moment. Like, we eat cheese doodles They're those orange puffies, which I don't eat those anymore because they're very bad for you, let's just say. But you know, you hold it in your hands and you get that orange stuff all over your fingers, and then it sticks to your fingers, and then you take a bite of it and you think it's going to taste. Oh yeah, my left ear is ringing, so somebody is definitely listening to this right now. Yeah, I love that when that happens. And then so you can't get it off your fingers, and then you take a bite of it and you think it's going to taste so good, and then all it tastes like is plastic. That's a cheese doodle moment. Don't live in your cheese doodle moments. Embrace you and understand that even if you are going through something sad or different, that there might be a reason that you're going through something different. The only person that knows is you. Alpha. That's the name of the course. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes that is my ADHD that kicks in. Which if you have that too, there's a good chance that you have intuitive abilities, because most of us that have been diagnosed with that type of a diagnosis, even though it is a diagnosis, of course, I'm not saying that it's not, maybe you should tap into that intuitive part of yourself. So the card that came up was change earlier. And then the last two cards I'm going to read to you is a divine feminine card. Another one popped up. The first one and then the second one popped up, and it's the numbers on these cards are 12, 16, 27, 13, and 21. And this one says the frequency of divine feminine supports our receptive, nurturing, and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect to our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all of creation. Fertility came up too. And coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for a spiritual ability to create the reality that we desire. And then the heart chakra card came up. So see how the universe talks to us. So guys, thank you so much for being here from the bottom of my heart. If you're listening or watching on Facebook Live, I appreciate all of you. If you're being drawn to me, my name is Susanity Life. I am the owner of Susanity in Sturbridge, Mass, where I do massage, deep tissue, and Swedish. I do Reiki. I do polarity. I do intuitive guidance and coaching. I listen to you. I hear you. I feel you. Because I was you, and I still am, kinda, right? I'm always a work in progress. This is Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester Community Connection. One more thing, if you're interested in coming on my show or any of the other shows on here, please reach out to us. We would love to have you tell your story. We're going to be changing the set a little bit, which I can't wait to get a new table. It's going to be wide open a little bit. So, guys, have a great day. Know that you're loved, and I'm sending you love and light and peace. See you soon.